there is something called the Hamas Hunting Club, which has been set up by U.S. soldiers within the IDF, which is something to discuss. A group of American soldiers fighting in Israeli Defense Force units in Gaza are under review now after creating a social media profile dedicated to sharing images of blindfolded Palestinian captives and calling for people to join the hunt, I quote, for Hamas. The Hamas Hunting Club has published a series of images since its creation in November, showcasing dozens of blindfolded Palestinian detainees sitting on the floor with their arms bound together, naked, etc. Your thoughts on that in response to what both you and Susan were saying about your commitment as individuals to do no harm, in effect, and where that takes you now into the specific activity of Veterans for Peace, which is to look at the transfer of arms to Israel and your protest of that, which we will, of course, get into. But your thoughts on this perversion, the Hamas Hunting Club, U.S. soldiers fighting within the IDF.
Well, Mimi, you're right. That is perverse. It's terribly perverse. And the only perversion worse than that is committed by the, as I call them, the madmen arsonists who run our country and take a people to war or begin their own war or fund a proxy war. This is the greatest perversion. And out of the Nuremberg tribunals came the term that aggressive war, a war of aggression, is the utmost war crime, because from that all other war crimes come. So when you take people and you take a society and militarize it, but when you take individuals and you put them into war, terrible things happen automatically to everybody. Nobody comes out of that. Nobody comes out of the military the same. Nobody comes out of the war unchanged at all. And so, yeah, this particular group of soldiers are perverse, but nothing should excuse that behavior. But on the other hand, let's look at the people who created the conditions for this perversion to surface. And beyond that, Susan was talking about the pain that people go through trying to write their conscience to the situation. And think of all, and this goes for IDF soldiers, this goes for everybody involved in a war. Think of the pain that they go through. It's called moral injury. You've been told you're off on God's mission, or however they put it, freedom and democracy. That's what you've been told. You go in there and you do things that no human being should ever do. You see things nobody should ever see. And it destroys you inside, either a little bit or a lot. And you deal with that. And we wonder why people come out of these situations and do insane, violent things to themselves, to people, drink themselves to death, beat up their family. You know, why does this happen? You know, well, do the madmen arsonists give a damn about this? No, they're making money. That's all they know. And they're going to run the government in such a way that they keep making money. And one of the things Veterans for Peace is trying to do is get beyond putting out the fires of these madmen arsonists and taking their matches away, which means no more First Amendment rights for corporations, no more lobbying in Congress, no more AIPAC lobbying, no more any constitutional rights that corporations have gotten to the point where they run the country. So, yeah, what's going on there is perverse and it should be condemned. but let's look at the larger perversion of a government that has militarized a society to the point where they think we're supporting this, and the people in Washington and the people in the mainstream media who don't understand the depth and the breadth of the opposition to this madness are living in a little delusional bubble. And for one thing, the Democrats' bubble is going to burst pretty big this November.